My last video kind of blew up, so I'm going to dig a little bit deeper in how AI is taking over. But this time I want to show some of the actual tools being used for it. I'm going to touch base on AI in creative text, visuals, and vocals. AI is pretty much coming for all of our methods of learning, so soon enough, when will it be kinesthetic learning? I honestly don't even want to think about what that would mean, especially with those AI-generated hands. Let's get started with text. In my last video, I covered how AI was infiltrating the crocheting community. And some of you folks pointed out that they're also selling books on Amazon to dupe people as well. I dug a little deeper into it and found this Reddit forum. The thing that's really frustrating is this forum isn't even that old. Only 10 months ago were they listing out all of these insane amount of links talking about them being AI generated crochet books. The one good thing is when I try to open them, practically all of them are no longer available. That's at least good that it shows that Amazon's kind of taking a stance of getting rid of these books somewhat quickly. I don't know how long they were up or how many sales they got, but it's good to see that there's some type of work being put behind it to get rid of these just AI slop generative content, especially knowing that a lot of these might not even work or are just based off of stolen patterns. I wanted to hop in and to show you guys just how easy it is to generate some of this kind of content, because I know there's going to be people out there that'll say, oh no, this is actually creative, they're actually putting in time and effort. And although some people actually might be, some people might be having this be an iterative process where they're putting in their own text and they're just letting ChatGPT kind of massage their text, make it more organized, make it make a little more sense and flow better. That might be the case. But the problem is, I do not trust people right now with AI generated content because it's pretty much just a race to the bottom for people to make a quick buck and to dupe people into wasting their money. As you remember from my last video, I talked about that crochet pumpkin. So I wanted to see if I could just get it made really easily for the pattern. Okay. Holy crap, that's pretty fast. The thing that sucks is this is actually like so valuable for some people that might just want it as inspiration and just like a baseline at the start of work of, oh, how can I make that slice shape or something like that? But oh, it's just so frustrating at how people are using this kind of stuff to just dupe people. There we go. It's done right there. Less than a minute. I had this made, and that was me manually typing it in. Imagine a bot just working with AI to just copy paste and churn out so much content to just flood social media and the internet with. I'm actually really interested if any of you guys crochet. I don't want to be wasting your guys' time, but I want to know, does this one actually work? Because I've heard a lot of people say half the time some of the crochet patterns don't even work. Imagine getting halfway through a project and it just being like this.
I started a new project today. It's gonna be the best gift for you. That's awesome. I can't wait to see when it's done. It's not looking quite right. It's supposed to be a fish. Here you go. I think it's done, but it doesn't look quite right. Well, Grandma, honestly, I didn't know you knew I was into that kind of stuff, but to be honest, that material's not gonna work. What are you talking about?
Of course, I have no sponsors since I'm a new YouTuber, but let me do one for my own business super fast. Just in time for the holidays. They're all designed, made, and packed here in my home. Even if you're not fully interested in buying anything, just checking out the website really helps with Google relevancy and searches. Some of our pieces are marked down 40%, and on top of that, you can use the 15% off coupon below. Thank you for all the support. Now quick ad over. And then just to go with the theme of if you're gonna have an AI generated pattern, you gotta have an AI generated image to pair with it. And to be honest, it's just crazy how quickly something like that can be made. Yeah, you can definitely tell it's AI generated, but remember, this isn't like the most amazing AI generator. I'm really interested in a side-by-side of just this simple pumpkin pie versus what the pattern actually gave, because I know for a fact there's no way it's gonna look like that. Just imagine how little effort I just put into that. And then I copy paste it into a Facebook group, into a Etsy listing, or putting it into an amalgamation of crochet patterns on Amazon or someplace I can sell a book just to make a quick buck, just to try to make some money really fast. Just like my last video, I talked about those delicious looking skull pizzas and the recipe that came with it, which were both most likely AI generated or using ChatGPT. So I wanted to kind of do a spin-off of that and just see how easy it is to make a just non-existent recipe. I honestly feel like I could be duped by these, especially if I wasn't super aware with AI. So it's just so frustrating how quickly some type of content like this that would make somebody that was actually trying to make it take hours of work to properly cut things out and lay things out and get the cheese molded just right, to be able to just generate it in what, less than 1 minute. Now, the interesting part, I'm gonna make a recipe now in ChatGPT and see if it can actually like incorporate the octopus shape. Okay, we got an ingredient list. So it's at least interesting. They do actually make you make an octopus shape, but it's a shape with the dough. So like obviously recipe would not match the results of the image. The thing is, a lot of people don't even look that deep into it and they just see the image, and that gets them to like, engage, and follow different groups where at some point, the person that's trying to dupe you to build up this account is either gonna sell their account off, try to get monetization through Facebook, or try to get you to click on links later to get AdSense through you viewing ads. Another area I wanted to touch on for text-based was different types of plans. So this could be a content plan, a plan for being more productive, or something like an exercise plan. Imagine just how easy something like that would be to make with ChatGPT. Here, I'm literally just gonna make a workout plan, something that could be eye-catching and you could share on Instagram and just be a, go click in my bio, look at my plan. Let's see how that works. Because I could totally see this being something shared on Instagram of like, oh my gosh, look at my dump truck. This is how I got it. And then they literally just share something like this. Oh, it's doing like a full plan, multiple days even. And what did I do? I typed in one sentence. Say, for example, I didn't have bad intentions in the sense of I wasn't going to just take this, copy paste it, and try to get people to buy a plan, but make my own plan for me. So I could just pull exercises that I really enjoy and try to have ChatGPT generate a plan for me specifically for my goals in mind. And I think that could be a really good use case for personal use. But I'm guessing a lot of people are just ChatGPT generating things and sending it off to be published, to be paired with pictures, to be put in articles for AdSense views, monetization. So the thing is, these are actually all things I've done to help grow glutes, and they're actually pretty good workouts. And they're focusing on having different types of movements. I don't know if it's intentional or not, because remember, this is all just pulled off of things from the internet and learning from everything that it's pulling. To me, this could actually be like a really good workout plan if you're wanting to try it or something. But the thought of just typing in that one sentence and being able to copy paste this into a booklet or a plan to then sell on social media. Ooh, so slimy, so slimy. Right here, you would literally have a full workout plan that you could sell. Yeah, it's not super in-depth, but I could just put in some more prompts to make them go into chapters. Like I could just say, add a chapter about XYZ and talk about this. Just putting 1 or 2 sentences in to get another page. It's really frustrating. And then I also want to see, because I know it doesn't do as well with people, I want to see how well it can make some images for my build your booty plan. This is image generator. Stab it. Stab it. I want the pictures. Let's see. I actually like it doesn't do well with people. Wah! You mofo. Okay, let's try a different approach. I sound like a freaking perv writing this out, but I feel like this should be an easier thing. Instead of putting in like actual gym equipment, it might be able to do this. I feel like I'm getting put on a list. Okay, and there you go. I just have a really easy image that I can use either as the front of my workout design, or if I have squats within it, I'm just gonna throw that in. The good thing is, although the like woman herself, the proportions seem weird, but like it's actually pretty convincing. You could definitely tell AI generated with the background, with that plate, the hands, it can never do it right. Just imagine if you don't give a fuck and you're just trying to make money. Oh, there, I got an image. Now I get a woman doing hip thrusts, a woman doing step-ups, all of this kind of stuff just to pull people in to buy my workout plan or my optimize your life plan or my content creation plan. So easy. So many different things you could copy paste into that. So you may already know how prominent AI generation is for today's digital artists. It is really frustrating, and at times it can be really hard to catch. The good thing is, a lot of the time, if you want to provide proof, you can provide a speed paint of your drawing or art that you made. Although it shouldn't be necessary, it is a pretty common way to prove it's made by you and by a person. Except now it doesn't matter because AI is making speed paints. Thanks to this commenter, I was made aware and dived a little deeper. And one of the tools on the forefront of this type of speed painting is Paints Undo. Here you can see multiple different methods of getting speed painting or speed drawing. This one is just inputting a still image, and then it's going to show you a process of how to make that. And the optimist in me wants to look at this and be like, oh my gosh, this could be so great because this will help you figure out how to learn the composition and the general shapes of what you need to draw. But I know that that is not going to be the main thing this is used for, because I feel like this is just absolutely going to be used as a proof of something not being AI generated by something that is also still AI generated. I think this is just going to lead to more people faking being artists and having more of a proof behind them being an artist by being able to offer speed paints. And I wonder how long it's going to be until these are even so convincing that the speed paints themselves are going to be hard to tell, because sometimes of how it's moving around, it can be kind of weirdly clunky with how it's doing it. But my guess is it's only going to get better because, it's learning off of all of those real artists that posted their speed paints online. As an artist at this point, how do you actually prove you made your work? Maybe by having your hands in it and showing how you actually made it if it's not a digital art. No, because AI is already doing that and the hands actually look good. I don't understand this. This is Sora and it's in a developmental phase, so it's not yet released to the public, but I can only imagine what it's gonna look like when this is available to everyone. Like with this kind of stuff coming out, I am scared for future artists. How are we gonna tell? AI is already taking our expression through text and visuals, so why don't they just take our voices while they're at it? So we're gonna cover Google's Notebook LM, and what you're supposed to be able to do is you're supposed to be able to take a bunch of content, which you can see some sources. I made it massively biased because I can totally see it being used that way. I grabbed some AI slop YouTube videos, and then I added in a pasted text of, which I hope is not too dark, we'll find out. Talk about how AI is a bunch of slop right now and ending the creativity of humanity. Let's see what it comes up with. That actually only took 3 minutes. That was pretty fast. So let's see.
Platforms like Facebook, YouTube, they have a moral obligation to address this issue. They need to invest in better algorithms that can detect and downrank AI-generated content.
Very true.
And they need to be more transparent about how their systems work, give users more control over what they see.
So it's about holding these platforms accountable,
Yes.
right? Making sure they're not just chasing those engagement metrics at the cost of quality and truth.
Exactly. We need to build a culture of media literacy and critical thinking, where people have the skills to navigate the complexities of this digital world.
That sounds like a huge task.
It is.
Are there any groups or organizations already working on this?
Absolutely. Lots of organizations are dedicated to promoting media literacy, fighting misinformation. First, be aware that AI slop is everywhere.
Right.
And it's often designed to manipulate algorithms and grab your attention.
Right.
Second, sharpen those critical thinking skills, question everything you see online. Third, support those human creators. Prioritize authentic content. And finally, remember, we all have a responsibility to shape the future of the internet. By demanding platform accountability, advocating for ethical AI, and fostering a culture of media literacy, we can create a digital world where human creativity and genuine connection flourish.
Although I, of course, agree with some of the messaging because of the literal content I put into this, I do wonder how much this type of generation is going to take over content creators, either commentary like what I'm doing right here, or people that are doing podcasts and talking about specific topics. Because to be honest, there's a few times when the audio messed up, but overall, the audio is really convincing, I feel like, of having a back and forth conversation. And now I can only imagine how much more AI slop we're going to have because of this nice audio aspect where you literally just have to drag and drop stuff less than 3 minutes to make a 23-minute podcast. Can you imagine the AdSense for people that are trying to make content farms? It's going to be insane. I'm also concerned at how easily biased you can make certain videos. Like, you literally get to choose all of the sources it's going to be referencing. So imagine people with a specific agenda in mind just dropping in all the videos that back up what they're saying to try to make content that can just get almost automatically generated and flood content platforms out there and just keep trying to give a specific biased agenda to people. How is content going to transform because of how easily biased it can become and convincing it can become through this type of auditory AI, especially when it keeps getting more and more convincing? I could actually see something like this being really good for a student that is trying to summarize and study things. And I think, like, especially with the name being Notebook LM, I think that's the pitch they're trying to have. And I do think that kind of idea is really awesome. I just know that people are going to use it and abuse it and just generate more AI slop with it, because why not? Literally 23-minute video. Just imagine the AdSense you could get from something like that. If you're literally just Mr. Krabs and money, 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 money for everything. It's just another example of what's going to happen with a race to the bottom with AI slop and how people are going to just keep getting deceived. I don't want people to think I'm just here to on AI, because I honestly believe it can be such a useful and powerful tool. Maybe a future video. But for a lot of daily cases we come across, especially online, it just feels like a race to the bottom in AI slop that is just there to deceive the viewer and try to make a quick buck. The other thing about generative AI, especially in a creative space, is it's in this massive gray area. Because imagine if you're an actual creator, and a lot of the time if you use somebody as reference or reference material for a drawing or an art piece, a lot of the time you credit the creator. You should. But for AI, there are millions of reference material and people that are taken from for the AI to learn what it's generating and how it's changing things. And obviously, they're not going to give credit to the millions of people that they pretty much stole from to learn for AI generation. I know that right now there's a lot of pushback for AI generated content not being art, but just imagine if we lose this battle. Think of what it will mean for the artistic community. I guess the best comparison I can think of is you as an individual will have an unwinnable battle against AI, because what you and millions of other people can learn in a lifetime, AI can learn off of and create things within potentially minutes based on all of that work. Seriously, how do you compete with that? You don't, and you're pretty much screwed if AI generated art becomes acceptable. Creative people already had it hard enough before AI came along, but with AI generation, the future's looking pretty bleak for creatives out there. I know there's going to be a lot of growing pains for the coexistence of AI and figuring out where those boundaries should be, but awareness is one of the biggest parts. And I feel like so few people are aware at how many things you're looking at are actually AI generated, and it's going to just get harder and harder. So boundaries need to be put in place. Platforms need to be held accountable and need to figure out how us as consumers on their platforms can understand what we're looking at and understand if it's AI generated or not. That way, we can decide if we want to support an artist that maybe uses a little bit of AI generation or AI removal tools within their setup, or it's just completely blanket AI generated and we can decide as the consumers to just not want to have that content or not want to have those types of products in our feed. There's already this gray area of whether or not we should be using generative AI because of the morality behind it and stealing from artists, but there's also the other aspect where is the massive environmental impact and how impactful it can be to power consumption and CO2 generation, especially with how more and more prevalent AI is becoming and integrating into so many tools across the board. It's just going to be more servers, power consumption for generation, and CO2 emissions for our planet. I'm hoping that in the future, especially with how much AI is taking over, there's some type of CO2 accountability and emissions accountability for those that are developing AI and those that are utilizing a lot of AI and processing power. This is how you know I'm a new YouTuber. I didn't even mention to like, comment, or subscribe, so please do so. I said it this time at least. I know technically right now all my videos have been AI related, but that is absolutely not the only topic I want to discuss. And actually, if you're interested, vote on what topic you want me to cover for my next video. There should be a community poll. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Here's my dog Tax. Very charming, but out of focus snoots.